So this next section that I wanted to cover is bulk editing, and this is something that's really exciting to me. We've been working on this for a while, and some of you may have seen we've been rolling it out in sections. But today I get to show you the whole kit and caboodle, which I'm very excited about. So I'm going to start in releases. Many of you have been to your releases, and if you have not, I hope you log in today and go ahead and take a look. But when you look at your releases, you'll be able to see your typical catalog view. And you're now going to have in this section a little extra. It says batch edit. So now you're able to batch edit your entire catalog or catalog selected results. You can also see the history of batch edits here. And you can access this two different ways. So you can do it from here. Let's just say I want to batch edit these 3 albums. Maybe I went through and I applied a few filters to get down to a specific few artist names that I know I need to make changes on their releases, maybe update a PNC line or something of that nature. Maybe I need to add, or figure out some specific metadata information that I need to add, whatever it might be. You can filter down that. Then we'll go into batch edit. So in this case, when I'm looking at these 3 that I've maybe gotten down to, I can go and click selected results. What this will allow me to do is go into this batch edit view, and I can go through and batch edit information about those 3 releases. Now, before we get into looking at all of this, I want to also show you the other way to do this. So when you are in catalog, you also have catalog releases and anywhere else that's a catalog, you have this ability to find UPCs. So up here, if you haven't seen this, this allows you to drop in any number of UPCs, and this will allow you to look for those across the entire catalog. So I've got some that I've prepared here. I'm going to drop these in, and these can be separated by comma or white space. In this case, I just hit return after each one, and now I have all of these UPCs. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to click find matches, and here we go. So we have 21 matched UPCs when we have 0 that are not matched, which is perfect. So now I have 3 options. I can go ahead and view all of these match search results. I can batch edit these match search results, or I can take down these match search results. So you have the ability to do this bulk takedown action, which will submit this up to platform for your operations team to take a look at. Let's say you have a expiration or a sell off of a catalog of an artist. This allows you to do that in more bulk rather than one by one. But we're focusing on batch editing today, so we're going to batch edit these match results. Now, this is where we're going to get into the specifics. So what you will see here is basically a one-to-one with a release level metadata. So you'll have all of your core details information. There will be a few things that are missing. One of such is the UPC, because we're not going to batch edit 40 UPCs to change, down to all of 1, right? So some of those things are going to be are not available so that someone doesn't make a mistake and create a bunch of duplicates. So continuing on, we've got stuff in our core details such as version title, genre, series name, label, marketing label. We've got some information about primary contributors. You can add multiple primary contributors here. Let's say if for some reason it wasn't added in the beginning, then you can go ahead and do that. You can add secondary contributors. This is something that I can see that would be very helpful for a lot of teams. Let's say you have a project that an artist just got done with. You are getting ready for release date, and you just got some information that a engineering team, let's say it was 3 people, there's a mastering engineer, an engineer, and a producer. Let's say all 3 of those people need to be added into the release or track level contributors for this album before it goes out. But you have, like we talked about earlier, you have the singles, you have 3 singles, you have you know, the music video, the lyric video, you have the album, the EP, X, Y, and Z, right? That you've already prepared because you're on top of it and you're killing it right now. You know, this is a great opportunity for you to find all of those UPCs, go ahead and lay those out like we did just a second ago in the find UPCs, and then go ahead and batch edit those, add those 3 contributors that now need to be added. And you don't have to go through each one and try and add that across the board. Hopefully this is a massive time saver for your teams. Continuing on, we've got property information, so such stuff such as music type, metadata language, parental advisory, so on. Mastering information, just like you'll see on a release level. Legal notices, this is one that has been asked for in the past, so hopefully this will help, as well as notes. So if you need to add notes across an entire swath of releases, then you can do that, whether it be an internal synopsis or notes. That is the details tab. Now, we've also gone a step further and we've also added a distribution tab, as well as a manufacturing tab. And Joanna, I saw your question. I'm going to get to it here in just a second. So this will allow you to edit basic distribution information. You won't be able to change the territory rights at the moment, but what you'll be able to do is add all of your rights information. If you have lost rights, partner restrictions or exclusives, pricing information, as well as license information, embargo, and timed release if you have a global release time that you need to update across releases. We also have added a manufacturing tab. So for your physical products, whether it be just a physical product or a package, this will allow you to change some of that information, update that. One thing to always keep in mind whenever you are batch editing things, whether it be on the catalog level or a release level in the tracks, anytime, specifically with tracks especially, but anytime you make a batch edit, you are making an edit to multiple albums that could affect multiple UPCs. So always keep in mind that, you know, what you're doing will need to be sent downstream again. So even, Joanna, to your point, even if it's validated and distributed, if you change it in OpenPlay, that's fine. That you can change it all day long. But if you would like those updates to fold downstream and not just stay in OpenPlay, those releases will need to be revalidated and redistributed and pushed out as an update. So you know, that where there's no automatic feeds in any environment. So obviously you're going to have to go through that process again, make sure it's validated. Hopefully, if it's already been distributed, you're not making any changes that will throw it out of validation. Then you can go ahead and distribute that. Your team can distribute that for you, and you can go from there. So hopefully that answers your question. From here, this is the release level. Now we're going to take a look at the track level. So there's 2 ways to do bulk edits on track. So I'm just going to take these 50. I'm going to batch edit these selected results. We're going to go a little faster on these. This is just your typical details page. And the reason why I said there are 2 ways is because this is from the catalog view. So again, we can use that same process that we talked about earlier. If you're filtering through data, maybe you're looking at one artist, maybe you're looking at you know, a set of UPCs, whatever it might be that you need to update, you can filter down that, or you can search through that using the search bar and maybe narrowing down to tracks. But when you can make all of your bulk edits here of all of your main details of your track, which is great. Again, I'm going to mention that if you make a change here, you could be affecting multiple UPCs. So if this needs to be you know, not updated across multiple UPCs, think twice. You know, but from here, we've got our track level. What I'm also going to look at is when we are from the catalog perspective, we just looked at that. When we're in a release, something that we can always do, I'm going to go ahead and go into edit. I'm going to go down to my track listing and I'm going to select all 3 tracks, and I'm going to go to this actions drop down. This will allow me to do a handful of things. I can edit, remove, add primary contributors, add contributors, or generate works automatically. If you haven't heard of that, very useful. If I'm looking at just selecting one track, I can duplicate it, but let's go ahead and edit. And you're going to see the exact same thing that we just saw from the catalog view. Now we're looking at just one specific album, and we can see we're editing 3 tracks. Here are those 3 tracks at the bottom, and you have that same bulk editing view. So useful here as well. And then we're going to go jump to the work section. This also allows you to batch edit works. Again, I'm just going to select these 50, and this will allow you to change core details, additional details, add contributors, whether it be writers, composers, so on, publishing information. So if you need to add a publisher to a handful of works that maybe it got dropped off and you didn't know that this publisher was assigned to this one person at the last minute, you can go ahead and do that. Again, if you want to go downstream, make sure you revalidate and distribute that release before just assuming that you added it to OpenPlay and it's good to go. But that is bulk editing in a nutshell. There is a ton here that we could talk about and cover and kind of look through, but I don't want to bore you all morning with the intricate details. But bulk editing is a tool that we've worked on for a while and we're really excited about. We hope it brings a lot of use to a lot of your teams, and hopefully will speed up some of your processes so that you're not having to go through and album by album make changes across the board. So now you can do it in that one click, which hopefully is very helpful.